morning and welcome into Fantasy Filmball's coverage of the 37th Annual Virginia Film Festival. My name's Dylan. I say good morning because at least to me, it is pretty early, but it's all going to be worth it at the end of the day because I am seeing 4 films today, kicking things off with the locking submission to the Academy Awards. Flow. This is a movie I am so pumped, so psyched for. I stayed away from most of the marketing and promotional material. All I know, it's animated, it has kitties, and it has animals on a boat. All things that sound right up my alley. So let's not waste any time because like I said, it is early. Let's just dive into this movie and enjoy day number 3. So I just got out of Flow, and waking up so early in the morning was 100% worth it because maybe this is a little grand to say already, but this may go down as my favorite film at the 37th Annual Virginia Film Festival. All right, it's been a few minutes. I've gathered my thoughts a little bit more on Flow, so I'm gonna splice this back into before, but I love this film. It's such a technically well-made movie from top to bottom. It has gorgeous animation. As I talked about, it has these amazing immersive one-shots and tracking takes. The cinematography is top-notch. I love the way that blends with the animation because not just the animals' textures, the beauty of the natural scenery. This film is heartwarming yet heartbreaking at the same time. It's and emotionally resonant. It is just a perfect film for all ages to enjoy, to immerse themselves into, to experience, and I would highly recommend all of you to go out and check Janice's newest film. They've done it once again. Had EO, now they have this again. Maybe they're winning my second ever Virginia Film Festival Favorite Film Award. I know some people may say there's no real story, but to me, the story's clear. I don't want to spoil it for you. I want you to go out and experience Flow because it's a one-of-a-kind film. I cannot think of another film that does Flow the way Flow does it. Overall, Flow just works for me so well, and I think it is just a brilliant one-of-a-kind experience. I love the way they decide to tell this story. They don't allow these animals to speak. They only meow, they only bark, they only grunt, they only do what these animals actually do in real life. They nail the mannerisms for each respective animal. They give them so much personality with, like I said, no dialogue. You fully understand what the cat, what the dog, what all these animals are feeling in every single scene without them having to really say any words. And then to me, that is just a true feat of filmmaking, from directing, from writing, from capturing this experience. I know Wild Robot probably has anime feature locked. I know Emilia Perez probably has international feature locked. That's just for the Academy Awards, critics groups, other guilds, other industry awards. Please give some recognition to Flow. It deserves at least one prize this award season.
So I'm so glad to be with you today and pleased to introduce to you Amadeus. This film is an adaptation of a stage play by Peter Shaffer, and it's derived from a narrative drama by Alexander Pushkin of 1830. I think you're going to love Amadeus.
All right, guys, I may sound insane here. Just gotta speak my truth. Amadeus may be the greatest fable ever put to film. Milos Forman's epic is just a requiem of this art form that we call cinema. I can't believe that it took me 25 years of my life to see this remarkable movie. I feel honored, I feel blessed to lay eyes and witness this stunning, gorgeous 40th anniversary remastering. I am just so happy to see what I may consider one of my favorite films, one of the best films I will see in the entirety of my life. And you know, I'm sure I'm not the first one to make this comparison, but it's my first time seeing this movie. It feels like Oppenheimer, just told from Louis Strauss' perspective, because F. Murray Abraham, you win the award for the greatest generational hater of all time. The way that F. Murray Abraham just embodies this character who's driven by his greed, by his jealousy, and his determination and obsessiveness to get this divine right that he feel like this monster had stolen from him. As I'm sure it already has in the last 40 years, but at least for me, seeing this film firsthand right now, this performance will long live Antonio Salieri's fading career. This is a true performance that stands amongst the best of all time. Just like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, this film is just legendary. It is iconic. It is a stroke of brilliance and a masterpiece in every sense of the word. Tom Hulce's take as this boyish, flamboyant, chaotic, crazy version of Mozart completely surpassed and blows away all your expectations. You aren't thinking one of the most iconic people in all of music history, especially from way back then. Is this crazy? Is this goofy? Is this silly? Is this just magnificent? Because this performance, just like F. Murray Abraham's, is the stuff of legends. Every part of Amadeus as a whole is just outstanding. It is just a technical marvel. I adore these operatic set pieces. I love the way that the music and the editing work hand in hand to play a part inside of these scenes to really make you feel, to really put you into the shoes of these musicians, and you can understand how they connect with music and how they elevate with their musical talent. The film has gorgeous cinematography, luscious grand production design. The costume work, the makeup work is some of the best I've ever seen put to film. And despite its incredibly long runtime, this movie never gets boring once. It's so engaging, it's so riveting. I'm on the edge of my seat loving every second of it. Because Milos Forman, hats off to you. You may have directed, you may have given the world one of my new favorite films of all time. All right, enough gushing about Amadeus. Let's dive into our next film, Bird. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep these thoughts on Bird pretty short, pretty sweet, because I like to be positive on this channel. Don't have many positive things to say about Bird overall. It's a pretty good lead performance in the film by Nakia Adams, but the rest of the film is pretty boring. It's got some headache-inducing camera work, and the plot lines, they just don't really go in a very satisfying direction. Just, I wouldn't say I'm let down. Wasn't expecting much, but is not going to be near the top of my list at the end of the festival. And now for the last film of the night, The Girl with the Needle. Fresh out of Girl with the Needle, and this is a film that will undoubtedly spark a discussion. I'm gonna start off with my positives on this film because the cinematography here is striking. Its use of this black and white color palette, the shot composition, as well as the use of shadows are all just magnificently done. Then the film boasts two outstanding committed acting performances that, at least for me, are a major positive. I can see for other people how these performances could be a little bit over the top or just not work for the film as a whole, but for me, they work. Now, to some of the negative parts of the film. At first, I was on this film's wavelength, but as the story unpacks and unravels with each twist and turn, and as it uncovers what the true messaging and the true plot line of The Girl with the Needle is, I start to become more disconnected and lose a little bit of interest. Ultimately, my biggest issue with The Girl with the Needle is it tries to play both sides of the die. It has this thematic point it really wants to discuss. I'm not going to reveal what it is because it's not in the marketing, and I was blown away while watching it of where this film decides to take its story. Just as I said, it tries to play both sides of the die, and sometimes that can be to a film's positive if it's effectively communicating both sides. But here, I think it's trying to take a stance without really taking a stance, and those films are the ones that just don't work for me at the end of the day because it's ultimately just saying nothing. It's presenting both angles, saying like, look, I support this, I'm against this, but just to me, it just leaves me blank, it leaves me cold, it leaves me distant. And overall, The Girl with the Needle is a film I appreciate, and it's a film I am intrigued actually to discuss and listen to other people's thoughts on this movie, because this could be a film I could see people 10 out of 10, 1 out of 10, or like me, 5 out of 10 it. And I wish I liked this one more. Technically well made, committed acting, but overall kind of a miss for me. But yeah, that's the conclusion on Day 3, Virginia Film Festival, 37th of the year. I'm excited. Day 4, we got 4 movies tomorrow. They're gonna be fun, so come back then. But until next time, my name's Dyl. Peace.